here's an article here, just now released, by the way, in major media. It's been talked about in other media, but it's major media. It says, studies find mercury in high fructose corn syrup, which is in many products. It's in almost everything, by the way. Mercury. You wonder why we're all kind of dim? We don't react to anything. And it says, this is from the Washington Post. It's another new reason to read all your food labels and stay away from high fructose corn syrup. You can't. It's in everything. It's in candy, it's in bread, it's in everything. It says reports that 2 new U.S. studies have done tests on the high fructose corn syrup. They call it HFCS, found in everyday products in American households, and found that half contain mercury. I've told people before, and I really mean it when I say it, you don't realize that total warfare has been practiced on you your entire lives. These accidents are no accidents. They don't happen as accidents. They knew the effects of mercury, bisphenol A, and the phthalates back in the late 1800s. Well documented, and I've gone through the documentation. It says the mercury was in nearly a third of 55 popular brand name food and beverage products where HFCS is the first or second highest labeled ingredient, according to 2 new U.S. studies, says the Post. The chemical was found most commonly in HFCS containing dairy products, dressings, and condiments. Representatives from the industries that make the foods with HFCS say the studies are based on outdated information because they're saying they use mercury-free versions now. Really? Do you know they were using the mercury stuff all along in all the processed foods? It's in all the soft drinks too, by the way. That's why they promote soft drinks to the young. It's best to get mercury to the young first, because they really uptake it fast in their brains if you want a dumb population. Either way, HFCS isn't good for you. It says here, and should be avoided, but HFCS can be found places you'd never suspect, like yogurt, breakfast bars, some next to step infant formulas, ketchup, and of course soda, and countless other items. So to be sure to read all labels before giving any foods to children, pregnant women. It says here, the nervous system is very sensitive to all forms of mercury. Well, yeah, they know that. Mercury, by the way, is interesting because that's the patron, that's the saint of merchants, mercenaries, and thieves. Mercury is the messenger. We all get the message, whether you know it or not. We've all had it. They brought us the message in our food. It says methyl mercury and metallic mercury vapors are more harmful than other forms because more mercury in these forms reaches the brain. Well, you see, that's what they've been using on all of these foods. They've been using this stuff to treat the foods. And they've got these high contents of mercury in them. It's just astonishing. Astonishing. It's also in that was the WashingtonPost.com. But it even goes through how it's made. I never knew that myself. They don't really publish this stuff much as to how they make it. It's all in the processing system they use. They used to use also hydrochloric acid and caustic soda. Caustic soda and hydrochloric acid. But it's actually scary how they've done it. So the bad news is that nobody knows whether or not their soda or snack food contains HFCS made from ingredients like caustic soda contaminated with mercury. The good news is that mercury-free ingredients exist. Well, they just don't label them. Food companies just need to push to get these good ingredients, it says. It's a bit late for that. We'll be back with more after this break. Hi folks, I'm Alan Watch and we're cutting through the matrix, giving you the bad news, because there's lots of bad news out there. It's bad enough when you wake up and realize that everything around you is a con, and you're being guided by very high powers, coordinated, networking together towards a definite goal, all on the same agenda. And they have been doing it your whole lives long, and your parents and your grandparents too, and probably before that as well. But total war is total war. You always go for the food. either kill the people quickly or you can dumb them down. You can do all of that. There's plenty of samples in history of food being used and odd things added to it to dumb people down. But it's interesting too that the Food Administration groups and so on are all denying it. Oh, we've changed now. However, let's go back to the study here. Wednesday, January 28th, 2009, from WashingtonPost.com. Almost half of tested samples, this is present, of commercial high fructose corn syrup contained mercury. This is present tense, even though they're claiming, well, they don't do it anymore. You can't believe these liars, can you? Which was also found in nearly a third of 55 popular brand name food and beverage products where HFCS is the first or second highest labeled ingredient, according to 2 new U.S. studies. It's replaced sugar. This HFCS has replaced sugar as a sweetener in many beverages and foods such as breads, cereals, breakfast bars, lunch meats, yogurts, soups, and condiments. What do they have everyone on today? Fast food. Canned food. It's all processed foods. It says on average, Americans consume about 12 teaspoonfuls per day of HFCS, but teens and other high consumers can take in 80% more, exactly the target group they're after, HFCS than average, because the uptake of mercury into the brain is much faster when you're young. This is total war. You don't make these mistakes. They stopped using mercury as a treatment for syphilis at the beginning of the 1900s. They had all of its toxic effects well understood and labeled. And here they are, the big boys who took over the food industry, giving us all mercury. And we've all got it. Some more than others, but we've all got it. It says mercury is toxic in all its forms. Given how much high fructose corn syrup is consumed by children, it could be a significant additional source of mercury never before considered. Who's kidding who? Who is kidding who? How come we have all these different agencies to protect us and we get poisoned like this? The same agencies that allowed the phthalates and so on to go through for donkey's years as we all became neutered. But then, you know, who's on the board of the FDA and all the rest of them, same in every country, it's the guys who work for the big corporations and pharma that just come over from one corporation and jump on this one that's going to protect us. I always think of Huxley too, where he talked about using drugs and everything on the public to get them through this period, you know, into scientific dictatorship. He says, what's wrong with drugging the people? What's wrong with it? Well, why not just lower their IQ? They'll never figure anything out then. They won't even respond or react. They'll just start to answer a lot of questions for you. When you see those dull eyes out there. Well, from Hamish myself in Ontario, Canada, it's good night, and may your God or your gods go with you.